Zone Garage offers a 20-year warranty on the top coat. Their coatings are durable, anti-slipped, and impact resistant. Give them a call at 570-856-6067. That's 570-856-6067 for Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Iowa Speedway, where tonight the Carolina SimWorks TNT Series kicks off round number 10 from one of the fastest short tracks on the planet, measuring just under 9/10 of a mile, well as 7/8 of a mile in distance here. My name is Chris Cram with the National Racing Network. It is a pleasure to have you joining us this evening as qualifications just getting ready to roll out on to the race course. Taking a look here, some of the cars we have out on the racetrack. First one we're going to pick up will be Jason Owens. He'll be the first to go on the clock, or one of the first anyway, to go on the clock. The Riley Children's Foundation Extra Life number 87. One of the better cars in the series here. Jason gets absolutely geared up for the PM-18s on the ovals, and especially at places here like Iowa that are going to be fairly technical. Owens currently sitting third in the point standings, however. Almost, 76 points back of West Shire. Owens completing lap number 2. He jumps to the top of the speed charts, 21.42 seconds. 21.42. How about new quick time? West Shire moves to the top of the board, 21.33 seconds. Cullen Johnston, Simon Fell, Mac Galida, your top 5 right now. Daniel Smith just finishing up his run. Let's pick up the number 88 Serge Cola entry of James Curtis. Curtis currently sitting 4th in points. Almost 100 points back, though, of current leader West Shire. Also on the racetrack now, Kevin Smalley and James Watson. Gary DeMoss has not yet turned a lap. James Curtis finishes his run. He moves to second quick, 21.39. Here's Kevin Smalley coming off at turn number 2. This place is close to Daytona and Talladega as you're going to get for the PM-18s. Smalley's second lap, going to put him on the board, 21.63 for lap number 2. Just coming around to complete his qualification run is the number 39 of James Watson. Your winner 1 week ago. Watson's going to stay right where he is. In fact, almost identical lap times. 21.63, 21.64. The 2 lap times for James Watson. Watson currently sitting 5th in the point standings, but he's got a long road to hoe if he's going to catch up to West Shire. Kevin Smalley currently running 2nd, Jason Owens 3rd, James Curtis 4th, James Watson 5th, Simon Fell, Rick Cleary, Bill Walker, Corey Cleary, Timothy Watson round out the top 10 in points here for the Carolina SimWorks TNT Series. And qualifications will be wrapping up here in the not too distant future. Let's take a look, see who we have here that we might be able to chat with. We got to talk to this guy a week ago as the pole sitter, and he said he thought he had extra time in the car. West Shire, 1, have you calmed down after last week yet? And 2, congratulations on another Carolina SimWorks pole award.
Yeah, still a little bit salty over last week, but it's Bristol. So we're on to Iowa this week, and if I'm honest, I'm pretty upset with that qualifying lap. I did a 21.215 in practice in clean air in the quali set, so there's definitely a 1 flat in there. But it is what it is. I'll take the pole.
I was going to say, it's a good pole time here, and I would imagine consistently fast laps and staying out of the pack that you so despise might be one of the big keys to the race here tonight.
Oh, that is very much the plan here. Hopefully, I'll just run away with this set and not see anybody the rest of the race.
All right, there you go. There's West Shire, your pole sitter here tonight, and he wants to run away and hide. I am not entirely sure that is going to be an actually viable strategic option here, but we'll see. Let's get you a look here at the starting grid for tonight's race. West Shire going to lead James Curtis to the green. 56 thousandths of a second back was Curtis in qualifications. Jason Owens and Simon Fell will occupy row number 2, while row 3 will see Timothy Watson and Cullen Johnston. Row number 4, Kevin Smalley and James Watson. Matt Galida, Daniel Smith on row number 5. Row 6, Bill Walker and Rick Cleary. Gary DeMoss will be all alone in row number 7. Looks like everybody has gotten out onto the racetrack here. Looking forward to a pretty good show. We'll see what the cards have in store here. Shire, Curtis, Owens, 3 of the best in the TNT series, and they're going to line up jammed up jelly tight here at the front of this one. I want to thank everybody who is tuning in on YouTube and Twitch this evening. As a reminder, on YouTube, we are able to accept Super Chats. It's about the best way to guarantee that your comment's going to get on the air. That or get me laughing one way or the other. I have to say a big thank you to Ben Carswell handling the play-by-play duties for the Slocano event 1 week ago. Also, Connor Baldwin for handling the production on that one. Pretty cool to see some new voices and some new people at the controls here at the National Racing Network. You'll get to see and learn all about those folks as we get going here over the next few weeks. But cars are making their way off of turn number 2, and we are ready to go green flag racing. 50 minutes is the distance here. That is the important one to keep an eye on. It is not a race length determined by lap count, but by time on the clock. Off of turn number 4, green flag going to go in the air. Shire brings them down very slowly. Now he grabs the loud pedal. We're off and underway. Good start for James Curtis to his outside. 3 wide back of the pack. Everybody cleanly off of turns 1 and 2. Jason Owens looking to the inside of James Curtis. That's the fight for the second position. Caution flag is out. Trouble on the racetrack. Yellow flag is out. Take a look and see what happened here towards the back of the pack. May have been trouble for McNelida. Keep your eye on that white number 5 machine. Oh, just a big old self-spin. Bounces it up off the outside wall. Oh, and then Rick Cleary spun all on his own as well. Take a look here. Now follow the red number 25. Saw Mack get up into the wall. Cleary turns it down to the inside. Contact with the 34 of Gary DeMoss. And it looks like all 3 of those cars are going to have to head to the pit area. So 1 lap, 1 caution flag. Word we were hearing pre-race in regards to the strategy numbers was that there was not a fuel-saving option that kind of could get you to the finish. It looks like it's going to be 1 full tank and then another stop after that. So you're going to have to go 2 stops unless we get a ton of caution flag laps. Don't necessarily think we're going to see that happen here, as we're already down to 10 cars remaining on the racetrack. Daniel Smith, your early hard charger of the race here. He's up 3 spots from the drop of the green flag. Westshire holding on to the early race lead here out at the front of the field. McNelida down and away off of pit road after 42.18 seconds. Gelida's still going to be running on the lead lap, so it'll be 11 cars here on the lead lap. Tough break for Rick Cleary and Gary DeMoss, both getting caught up in basically somebody else's issue here. Cleary trying to get slowed down to avoid the car of McNelida. Ends up flipping the 34 of Gary DeMoss. Both of those cars will have very long stints on the pit road for damage repair. Trouble, oh, maybe not trouble here, but Kevin Smalley coming into the pit area here. I am fairly certain this is a fuel top-off for Kevin Smalley. Car goes up on the jacks. Obviously, they'll replace the tires as well on that car. You have unlimited sets of tires, you might as well throw them on. But Smalley down and away, 8.2 seconds on the stop for Kevin Smalley. And Westshire has backed the field way down from the iRacing safety car. He wants to set the pace. Pace car already in off the racetrack. Shire barely into turn number 4. And he's going to bring the field down very slowly. Grabs a loud pedal onto the front straightaway. Green flag's out. We're back underway. Shire will be the early race leader. Side-by-side battle back in the pack here between Daniel Smith and Cullen Johnston. Smith easily able to grab that spot. Johnston fights back to the inside. Oh, Smith goes around. He's going to hit the outside wall. Caution flag is out. Curse of the commentator strikes again. Talk good about the guy gaining some positions early on in the race, and unfortunately, Daniel Smith is going to have to take the tow. And he will be out of the race. Max saw him quickly jump out of the car entirely once he got to pit road. So Daniel Smith looks like he will finish no better than the 11th position this evening. See if we can't get a quick word here with Kevin Smalley. Kevin, an interesting kind of strategy call here, and you're coming down pit road again. Do you think you can make it doing these kind of top-offs and a little bit of fuel saving?
So we're going to be close now. I think with these little top-offs, if we went green the whole way, I think I might be able to make it with just the one stop, and I think everybody else is going to need two.
That was kind of the word we heard, was that it was going to be a full stop plus some, so kind of makes sense to try to get them out of the way here under green flag and use the early pit stops as your track position gain.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a great qualifying, so we're back here and we'll see what happens.
All right, there you go. There's Kevin Smalley playing the strategy game a little bit early here, looking back to the front of the field. Wes Shire still holds on to the race lead. Now looks like Cullen Johnston and James Watson going to be making their way down the pit road. Johnston was running in the either 5th or 6th position. So he'll bring his car down to the attention of his crew. Only 7 minutes in and already playing the strategy game in a pretty big way here. Both Johnston and Watson going to hit their pit boxes. No tires for Cullen Johnston. James Watson down and away. 7.05 seconds for Watson. For Cooper tires, full tank of fuel. Cullen Johnston electing to go fuel only here. Both of those cars will tag in at the back of the field. So now we have a little bit of a lineup shuffling going on here. Also seeing another car making his way down onto the pit road as well. We'll see who that one's going to be. That looks to be Rick Cleary making his way down pit road. By completing that lap, Rick Cleary basically giving himself an EOL there to slot in at the back of the field, but he does pass Daniel Smith, who is officially out of the race, as is Gary DeMoss. Looks like we're going to see Jason Owens playing the strategy game here as well. Well, maybe not. Tried to sell everybody behind him the dummy, but that didn't quite work out, so Owens stays back on the racetrack here. Already 9 minutes into this 50-lap race. For the amount of time you spend under caution, you got to be getting potentially close anyway to where you might be able to make it on fuel here. Wes Shire, your race leader, he's led every lap of this thing. Again, backs the field up big time in towards turn number 4. Gets on the accelerator just at the exit of turn number 4 this time. It's going to give everybody a chance to stretch out here. Shire's been able to avoid the commotion back behind him. We'll see what that's going to bring as the race continues to unfold here. Your top 5 have not yet made a pit stop. Kevin Smalley, the first of the cars to have stopped, he did so on lap number 7. Jason Owens looking to the inside of Wes Shire for the race lead off at 2. Owens slides up the racetrack, completes the pass on Wes Shire. New race leader at lap number 14. And it's Jason Owens. The big number here, though, is that everybody is going to have to make the pit stop yet still. The question is, we know Owens, Shire, Curtis, Watson, and Fell, they can't make it on just one stop. Question is, what are they going to be able to do on 2 stops here? How about James Watson back in the pack? He just set back-to-back fastest laps of the race. Duking it out here with Kevin Smalley down the back straightaway. Smalley keeps a little bit more pace into the corner. Watson clips the apron just a hair, sees the back end step out. Nice recovery. That's going to allow Cullen Johnston to catch back in. Jason Owens goes fastest lap, 21:46, the quick time for Owens. Just under 38 minutes remaining here from the Iowa Speedway. Give you the upcoming schedule here for the TNT Series. Coming up next week, the All-Star Dirt Showcase. That one's going to be the best of the TNT Series and some of the best drivers from the Indy Pro 2000 official series as well. Seeing trouble on the racetrack for Mac Galida. Let's get you a Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay here. Mac had a self-spin earlier in the race. Man, almost an identical spin. Hits the outside retaining wall, and he has to take the jump back to the pit area. This battle here between Smalley, Watson, and Johnston's a good one. Also have a tightening of things up here for the race lead. Jason Owens, about 1/10.5 up on Wes Shire. They're going to stay nose to tail, and I would not be surprised to see Wes Shire very content to stay here. Save as much fuel as he possibly can. Running right in that slipstream of Jason Owens. We'll slide back here to this fight as James Watson comes around Kevin Smalley. And these are all cars that have stopped. So this could be the effective battle for the race lead. Smalley with a crossover in 3 and 4. Cullen Johnston thought about shooting the gap up the middle, wisely backs out of it. He'll be able to get to the inside of James Watson, though. Both Kevin Smalley and Cullen Johnston coming around James Watson. Now Watson going to fight back to the inside in 3. Let's give you the look back here to the front of the field. as we hit almost the 15-minute mark, just a few seconds shy of 35 minutes remaining here at the Iowa Speedway. Still Jason Owens and Wes Shire all alone at the front of the field. Slide back here into pack number 2. We get James Curtis, Timothy Watson, and Simon Fell. These cars all staying in line. This 3, 4, 5 pack has not pitted yet. Once again, moving a little bit further back here, picking up Kevin Smalley, Cullen Johnston, and James Watson. They're all behaving themselves and playing nicely here. We haven't gotten a chance to do this one yet here for the Indy Pro 2000s. It's just about 16 and a half minutes in. You fans at home, y'all can go ahead and crank it up. Not too far away here from having to see race leaders make their first stop of the race. We would anticipate it to be before the halfway point of the race, as Wes Shire looks to the inside of Jason Owens. Looks like the rule here is that they do have to enter the pits from the back straightaway. You can't make the hard left-hand turn off at turn number 4. Good fight here between James Curtis and Timothy Watson. That's for the 3rd position. It's going to be very interesting to see when some of these cars have to duck off the racetrack for their pit service here. If you make it to the 25-minute mark, you can make it on one stop. I don't think they're going to be able to make it that far, however. Jason Owens setting a new fastest lap of the race, 21.32 seconds. Taking a look, the top speeds that everybody is attaining are kind of all right in the ballpark here. At least the numbers that you're seeing in the draft, high 159s, low 160s. The interesting parts here is where the apex speeds are at the mid-corner point. Jason Owens and Wes Shire as much as 4 miles an hour faster than what James Curtis is doing. now at the 20-minute mark. When do we see your race leaders make the first dive off onto the pit road? Or have they saved enough fuel under caution to make it to the 25-minute mark? And then it completely blows the strategy game out of the water here. For some of these cars like Kevin Smalley, you almost wonder if you don't try the overcut as soon as you get to the 25, or the undercut, as soon as you get to the 25-minute mark, if they're going to have to stop again, you might as well take the shot here. The numbers we were hearing was that you needed to be within 5 to 6 seconds of the race leader as Jason Owens comes around Wes Shire to reclaim the race lead. Jason Owens getting way up on the outside, just giving the top spot back to Wes Shire. Right now, they're starting to get the feeling of the race that nobody wants to lead, and it's allowing James Curtis, Timothy Watson, and Simon Fell to catch back up in on the lead group. Now, Curtis, Watson, and Fell are absolutely going to start to benefit from the draft here off of Wes Shire and Jason Owens. Now 22 minutes on the scoreboard. When are they going to have to stop? Nobody inside the top 5 is coming just yet, and it's a full 2 seconds back to Kevin Smalley, who runs in the 6th position. A half second back of Smalley is James Watson in 7th. And then it's another big gap, almost 3 seconds between James Watson and Cullen Johnston. Not a huge change in the lap times, which is kind of surprising here to see. Wes Shire's best lap of the race, 21:34. 21:49 was the last lap time. 21:79 that time for Wes Shire. You wonder if they're going to try to squeeze this all the way out to the 25-minute mark. Even if you get to 25 minutes, though, you still need the caution help that you had in the second half of the race to make it the same distance. We have James Curtis and Timothy Watson battling here, just back behind Shire and Owens. So they may be able to make it on fuel. The difference is they're going to have to stop. They may make 25 minutes on fuel. The difference is they're going to have to stop again if we don't get the caution flag laps in the second half of the race that we saw in the first half. And this is where the strategy play by Smalley, Watson, Johnston, Bill Walker, this can really be a benefit to these drivers because they only have to make the one more stop. 21:09 the last lap time for Wes Shire. Definitely slowing down. And this is where the benefit comes into play for Smalley and James Watson. They can keep going. They know they have to go another stop here. But by stopping early, they've gone into full rich, full attack mode and cue the Jaws theme because Smalley and Watson are getting right there. 25 minutes have elapsed. We're halfway home. Here at the Knee High by the 4th of July 50 from the Iowa Speedway. I think it's the only corn joke I've made so far tonight. We will try to make that the only one as well. Seeing Gary DeMoss and Shadow Fox checking in on YouTube. Thank you very much for comments here this evening. We appreciate those. Make sure you give the video a like and a share so YouTube's algorithm thinks more people want to watch us. Here comes James Curtis looking around to the outside of Jason Owens. James Curtis going to grab that position. Kevin Smalley's right there now on the back of this group. You would almost think they have to come soon because they're just giving up too much time here to Smalley, especially if they have to make another stop. Lap time still in the 21.8 range. 22 flat for Jason Owens that last time. And the gap that Kevin Smalley had opened up on James Watson is just about gone here. That's down to just a handful of car lengths as they head off to turn number 1. 9 cars remain on the lead lap, and 7 of them fighting here at the front of this group. I would imagine if you're Kevin Smalley and James Watson, you need to clear this pack pretty quickly. Start setting some fast laps on your own here because they are going to have to pit again. Jason Owens very obviously in big-time fuel-saving mode here. He's still running 21.9s. We're hitting 28 minutes on the scoreboard here, and this is definitely going to be interesting here to see who comes and when, because it'll be very telling over if they're going to be able to make the end of the race here on fuel. This entire lead group at this point is praying for a caution, but they don't want it to be them. Here comes the first of the cars on the pit road. It's going to be James. Oh, big hit up hard into the outside wall. Big wreck. Caution flag is out. Huge hit. Jason Owens involved in that one. As is Timothy Watson, already into his pit box. Take a look and see what happened here. Oh, man, the 28 machine of Timothy Watson looked like he tried to grab the brakes hard to get onto pit road. And Jason Owens absolutely drilled him from behind. Let's get you your race leaders here on pit road. Wes Shire, Kevin Smalley, Simon Feld, James Watson, Cullen Johnston, Bill Walker, all on the pit road. James Curtis. He came in and took service. However, if he entered a closed pit lane, he will have an EOL penalty. It won't be the biggest of EOL penalties by any stretch. Let's get you another look at that incident. From the onboard of Jason Owens. Oh, man, there's Timothy Watson just absolutely jamming on the brakes. Nowhere for Jason Owens to go. Pretty big impact with the inside wall as well. There it is. Looks like it is a penalty to James Curtis for entering the closed pit. See if we can't get a word here with Jason Owens. And Jason, out of the infield care center, and what happened out there, I guess, is going to be the first question we got to ask.
I guess from in-game chat, Tim said he ran out of fuel. Just came across my nose. I had nowhere to go. I had one more lap to pit. It looks like these guys pitted ahead of the pace car out there. So they got black flags. It's going to be interesting. I don't know, Chris. I'm just super frustrated. I thought I had a race-winning strategy play going with car setup. And
yeah, the car looked very, very fast, and unfortunately, it's going to come to an untimely end. And not the way you wanted to have things happen here tonight, but at least you do have some of the drop weeks that are going to come into play here, so it may not hurt as bad. There you go. There's Jason Owens, an obviously frustrated Jason Owens. See if we can get a quick word in here with James Watson as we cycle under the caution flag here. James, it seemed like you and Kevin had a pretty interesting strategy play that was going to work out there, and now you're kind of right back to full blast, and everybody's got enough to make the end.
Yeah, but it may not be that simple because there's some penalties that we're discussing. So, yeah, there's a lot to be discussed. So keep tuned in because this race may be flipped up on its head.
That's interesting. That's something we haven't heard yet. So if you can let the admins know to make sure we find out that information here in the text chat, we'd appreciate it. But good luck the rest of the way there, James.
I am an admin, and I'm letting you know right now.
So there you go. There's James Watson, and it'll be interesting to hear what some of the penalties that may be coming here. We know James Curtis got one for entering a closed pit lane. So we're down here to about 16 minutes remaining here in the knee-high by the 4th of July 50-minute extravaganza for the TNT Carolina SimWorks Series. So we'll take a look and see what's coming here. And, well, James Watson is moving to the head of the line here. Kevin Smalley and Wes Shire, I believe, are going to the tail. Lights are out on the iRacing safety car, so yeah, we've got a big-time shakeup here in this one. James Watson going to be your race leader on the restart. Cullen Johnston, Bill Walker, James Curtis, Kevin Smalley, the top 5. Wes Shire goes from leading this race to running back in the 6th position. Simon Fell runs 7th. Those are going to be the 7 cars on the lead lap of this race. So James Watson will restart as the race leader. Green flag back in the air. Watson going to jump out to a half-second lead by turn number 1 over Cullen Johnston and Bill Walker. We got to look towards the back here, though, because we're going to have several cars charging through, including James Curtis, Kevin Smalley, and Wes Shire. Smalley looking to the inside of Curtis off of turn number 4. Curtis will have the momentum down the front straightaway and hold the spot at the start-finish line. And this is where you really got to watch. Everybody's going to be on cold tires and fresh tires here. All right, let's bring Jason Owens back into the booth here a second as the guy who runs the league. Jason, what's the story on the penalties here?
Yeah, so we had multiple cars that were literally running out of fuel. Like, we were coming to pit cycle there. Everybody had less than 1 liter. And they were ahead of the pace car and came into a closed pit, passing the pace car and doing so. So iRacing, because we don't have granular penalty control, was going to assign a stop and hold 30 seconds for all those penalties. You know, I think the IndyCar equivalent would be, hey, do your emergency service, get some fuel, come back in, get full tires, go to the end of the longest line, right? So we had to sort that out and get everybody back in line and get everything the way it needed to go. All while I'm frustrated for getting wrecked out. So, give me a minute, take a couple deep breaths, figure it out.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like that's kind of the fairest way to do it. How they handle it in the real world is it's the emergency service policy that we saw play out at Indianapolis. You come in, you get your service done, you just got to go to the end of the longest line. I would imagine everybody was probably okay with that, at least initially, once they think about it anyway.
Yeah, nobody protested in in-game voice chat, and like you saw at Indy, it kind of made for an extended caution, but I think we got everything fair to everyone. Everybody was going to be able to make it on fuel from this caution. I'm just super bummed, man. Like, I thought I made a winning strategy play. I went some extra wing before the race because I knew that on short runs I could get out in front of Wes and put dirty air on him. And then I started making a fuel number and was going to make it like that one green flag stop was going to be good to the end. So it's tough. No harm, no foul by Tim. I guess he ran out of fuel and trying to get out of the way. So it's just a bump. Extra life. Riley Children's Hospital PM-18 was on a frickin' rail tonight, man. Like, nailed the setup. I thought we had the strategy nailed, and you know that's racing, right? Sometimes the stuff you can't control is out of your control.
Yeah, I hear you on that one, brother. Well, thank you very much for the update on the penalties as well, and hopefully we're talking to you under better circumstances next week at the All-Star race.
Right on. Thanks, Chris.
There you go. There's Jason Owens. 3-car battle for the race lead. We saw a great fight while we were talking to Jason between Cullen Johnston and James Watson. Here comes Wes Shire. He's going to look to the inside. Watson able to chop the air off just a little bit, slides back up the racetrack. Going to force Cullen Johnston and Wes Shire into this side-by-side fight for second. James Curtis going to be there as well. Kevin Smalley falling back just a little bit. Smalley said it to us in the interview. He didn't think he had a pace race winning car, so he was going to try to do it on strategy. Unfortunately, now the strategy call is kind of gone out the window here. As we're down to 10 minutes remaining. Wes Shire able to clear Cullen Johnston off at turn number 2, and now he's going to go on the hunt for James Watson at the front of the field. Johnston looks back to the inside of Shire off of 4. 3 cars battling for the race lead into 1. Just about turning pace laps at 150 miles an hour. James Watson, big moment there off of turn number 4. Car got a little bit loose down on the inside. Nice save there by the pilot of the 39. That's going to let Wes Shire get the good run off of turn number 2, and he'll clear James Watson for the race lead. Watson fights right back to the inside. Picked up the win 1 week ago. Now Cullen Johnston going to look to the inside of Watson into turn 1. James Curtis right there as well. Going to be a 3-car fight for second as Wes Shire now has a half-second lead over James Watson for second. Things are happening in a hurry here at the Iowa Speedway. Already 85 laps completed, or just about 85 laps completed for your race leaders. Oh, Shire may have almost gotten into the outside retaining wall on the exit of turn number 4 there. Shire, Watson, Curtis, Johnson, Smalley, your top 5. Simon Fell, Bill Walker, the 2 cars remaining on the lead lap. Rick Cleary, 5 laps down in the 8th position, still turning laps out here. Jason Owens, Timothy Watson, Mac Malida, Daniel Smith, and Gary DeMoss all out of the race. DeMoss out early with that incident on lap number 1. Smith out as a result of the second caution on lap 5. The lead's still holding right about 5/6 of a second here for Wes Shire. In fact, we'll show you the gaps up here on the screen. James Curtis trying to make that outside lane work as we are now down inside of 7 minutes remaining here at the Iowa Speedway. As we mentioned in our talk with Jason Owens, coming up next week, the Carolina SimWorks TNT Series heads to the dirt for the first time, the Bristol Dirt All-Star Shootout. And a full dirt structured event there. So heat races, consolations, the whole bit. PM-18s running on the dirt at Bristol Motor Speedway. James Watson fighting back to the outside of James Curtis through 3 and 4. We'll see if anybody has something for Wes Shire here late in this race. James Watson doing a fine job of keeping James Curtis in dirty air and forcing him to use the long way around the racetrack. Simon Fell going to work on Kevin Smalley here. Where's the back of that lead pack? Simon just ran a 21.4, which is only a 10th off of his best time of the race. Everybody else at least a 10th and a half, if not 2 tenths slower than what their quick lap of the race is. Smalley able to clear Fell back around. So inside of 5 minutes remaining here, let's give you the full field rundown. West Shire in the number 16 Homestead Coffee Roasters entry has been the dominant force in this race thus far, the big-time beneficiary of the incident involving Timothy Watson and Jason Owens. As Jason Owens had been about a tenth back off of West Shire's rear wing the entire race. Shire not having to contend with that in number 87 machine at this point any further. Hard charger, the race going to belong to James Watson. He's up 6 spots from the drop of the green flag, holding on to the second position in that National Racing Network, number 39. James Curtis in the familiar Serge Cola colors on the number 88 machine. Currently 5th, I believe, in points. 3rd on the racetrack. Trying his darndest to get around James Watson here. He wants a piece of West Shire, but Watson making it difficult here. Holding that inside line. Cullen Johnston runs in the 4th position in the Labatt Blue, number 93. Cullen's up 2 spots from the drop of the green flag, as is number 47 of Kevin Smalley, running right up on his rear wing. Running in the 6th position is Simon Fell. Simon down 2 spots from where he started the race tonight. Final car on the lead lap, just making his way into turn number 1, is the number 19 of Bill Walker. Two and a half minutes remaining here at the Iowa Speedway. West Shire is the race leader by 0.7 of a second over James Watson and James Curtis. So Shire able to open the gap back up. Curtis just not able to do anything yet with James Watson. Tells you how good the car of West Shire was. He restarted towards the back of this lead pack. Now with 2 minutes remaining, Shire opening up a pretty sizable gap here over James Watson and James Curtis. Good defensive drive here by Watson. Watson arcs the corner entry just a little bit. Curtis has to get off the loud pedal as Watson slides across the front nose, takes all the air off the front wing. That's the challenging part here, is that you get the opening to the inside and all the car in front of you has to do is just move down half the lane, and it prevents any further attack. Down to 60 seconds remaining here at the Iowa Speedway. Stay with this battle for second here for the moment. Looks like we're going to be down to about 3 laps to go here. We'll see how that's going to shake out on the clocks, but James Curtis now looking once again to the inside of James Watson. Watson keeps it wound up on the outside. Looks like it will be 2 laps to go here at the Iowa Speedway. Curtis trying every trick in the book to get around Watson, but just nothing quite close enough here. White flag is out. 1 lap to go here at the Iowa Speedway. The clock has expired. through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Checkered flag goes in the air. Westshire picks up the win over James Watson and James Curtis. Kevin Smalley comes home in the 4th position, and a late race crash with 1 to go. Get you the instant replay here, courtesy of Hot Shoe Racewear. Here's Simon Fell and Cullen Johnston. Oh, Johnston just loses it right in front of Simon Fell. Both of those cars hard into the inside safer barrier. And that's what allowed Bill Walker to come around and claim a top 5 finishing position. There is Westshire, your race winner this evening. As he comes around to burn him down, let's get you the final results here tonight. Westshire is your winner by 1.2 seconds over James Watson and James Curtis. Kevin Smalley, Bill Walker, your top 5. 6 through 10, Cullen Johnston, Simon Fell, Rick Cleary, Jason Owens, and Timothy Watson. Matt Galida, Dan Smith, and Gary DeMoss round out the field. Fantastic set of burnouts there by Westshire, and get everybody set up here for the post-race interviews. And first guy we're going to talk to here, I think, will be Mr. James Curtis. And James, it was a heck of a run for you here as we got down to just a couple of laps to go. Ultimately, it seemed like track position was just absolutely critical here, and you were kind of lacking one spot to have a go at Wes.
Yeah, that was really it. I think I had a setup where I could have pushed him a bit, but I think James's car was really good in the draft. If he didn't have a pole, I probably could have got him. But great race, great positioning by him. He did exactly what he should have there.
I say that was kind of it. It seemed like every time you were able to get to the inside, he had just enough momentum off the corner to kind of chop you down off of 4 and take the air off the front wing. Were we expecting more of a pack race tonight, and did your downforce settings affect how the car drove in that late race battle at all?
Yeah. So yeah, usually you get a pretty decent pack here at Iowa. Drafting's pretty important. But I had a pretty fast qualifying set, so I was a little cocky. I was planning on running up front, and so I went to A1 wings, was going with the min downforce and just trying to get out front and run with it. It's a good strategy if you're out front, but if you're back in the pack, it doesn't work out so well.
Well, and ultimately, there was a little bit of benefit as well from the incident that took out Jason Owens and Timothy Watson as well. How tight were you on fuel as we were coming to that set of green flag pit stops?
Oh, I was going to the pits right whenever the yellow came out. I actually got a black flag for entering the pits under closed pits. Pits, because I was going right in. Yellow came out, and the iRacing marshals got me.
Well, it was a fantastic race for you here tonight, and a pretty decent points night. I mean, I guess everybody's losing a little bit of ground to Wes here, but what does the strategy become here? Are we paying people to take him out, or what's the story here as we get late in the season?
Well, I've been putting money out there, but nobody's done it yet, so I'm going to find another strategy.
Oh man, we can't even we can't even find a hitman in the TNT series.
I know, man. Everybody's too expensive here. But no, I'm kind of got my eyes on second right now and just trying to do what I can to get as many points as I can. And who knows? It just takes one bad weekend to catch back up. So we'll see what happens over the next couple weeks.
All right, James. Well, congratulations on the third place finish here tonight, brother. Who do you want to thank?
Hey, just want to thank everybody out there who's watching, everybody on the stream. Thanks for the support throughout the race. Everybody watching in our end, you guys do an amazing job every single week. Pretty much all your races are awesome. So watch that and, go out to your local brewery and get a beer.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds like a plan tonight after this one. So, James, thank you very much. We appreciate that one. let's bring in your runner-up finisher tonight here, Mr. James Watson. And James, hard charger of the race tonight on a race night where passing seemed difficult. How were you able to gain 6 spots?
Saving enough fuel and being in the right place in the right time when everyone was kind of boneheaded going down on the pit road past the pace car and getting handed a couple spots because of that.
Yeah, it seemed like the incident that took place was Timothy Watson basically running out of fuel right in front of the entire pack. Jason Owens had nowhere to go. What are you thinking when you see that wreck start to develop right in front of you?
I didn't know what was happening till I passed it. I actually net coded through Tim's car. Like, I had no idea. I'm behind Jason, and next thing I know, I see Tim spinning around, and I'm just like, well, I'm screwed. And I just net coded right through him.
Ultimately, the strategy game sort of but paid off in your favor here. You got the benefit from it one way or the other. So what do you think as we get ready to head on to the dirt next week at Bristol?
I hope my heritage comes through and gets me a win in that disaster.
Yeah, I was going to say that's one of the shows that you're going to be, I would think, one of the favored drivers in here, considering the off-road championships. You like to play in the dirt a lot on the iRacing side of things.
Yeah, I was raised by a dirt track street stock champion, so I was born into it.
All right, James. Well, congratulations on the runner-up finish here tonight, bud. Who do you want to thank?
I gotta thank ZAS Designs for putting up with my ridiculous scheme requirements. I gotta thank you and the rest of everyone at NRN. Gotta thank, not quite yet, but soon there's a new deal brewing that should be announced within the next few days. Can't wait for that.
Well, there you go. Hope the new sponsors are tuning in here tonight to see you pick up a good second place finish here. So, James, congratulations on that. We're looking forward to talking to you next week. Let's get the man of the hour in here, Wes Shire. And Wes, you said the car was fast. You proved that from early on in the race. Were you the slightest bit bummed about Jason getting taken out in that incident? Because you two were putting on a heck of a show there at the front.
I actually was really, really bummed about that. That was shaping up to be incredible because we were both going to be good to go after that pit stop, and I guess Jason was going to pit the lap after he got involved in that accident, and then I was planning on pitting one lap later than that. But yeah, that whole thing is just, you hate to see it.
Yeah, that was it was a kind of a tough break for everybody involved there, but ultimately it set the stage for your race win. But it came in not the easiest of circumstances because you had to take the emergency service and the EOL penalty that comes along with it.
Yeah, we had to kind of work that out kind of mid-race there, but that was really unfortunate, but it worked out about as well as it could for me. But yeah, you hate to see it. I mean, that was shaping up to be such a good race.
Once you got past James and James there for the lead there after the final caution flag, was it just managing the car, managing the gap a little bit, not overdriving? Because, I mean, that thing looked like it was on rails the last stint of the race.
Yeah, it was definitely managing things. And I knew when I was going to get to about quarter fuel left, things were going to get really, really squirrely, which would have been about the last 5 to 8 minutes of the race. So I just kind of did what I could to save tires and just didn't overdrive, and yeah, worked out.
I want to say you put on a fantastic show here tonight, bud, and extends the points lead in a pretty decent way as well. So that's got to be looking bright to claim a TNT Series championship. So who do you want to thank here as we get ready to wrap things up?
Well, as always, got to thank Jason for putting this all on. Shame he got taken out tonight. That was going to be such a good race at the end. Thanks to you for broadcasting. Thanks to Carolina Simworks for paying all the bills. And, of course, big thanks to Homestead Coffee keeping me awake and alert enough to drive this thing. And that qualifying set is probably the sketchiest I've ever had that car. I mean, it was one mistake and I am upside down and through the wall. I mean, that was a tough set to drive.
Well, there you go. Westshire putting on an absolute show here this evening. And with that, we're going to get ready to wrap things up here from the Iowa Speedway. Coming up next week for the TNT Series, the All-Star Dirt Showdown, featuring the drivers of the TNT Series, some of the best from the Indy Pro 2000 Officials Championship as well. We cannot wait to bring that show to you. Heat races, consies, the whole bit. We're doing it on the dirt next week for the Carolina Simworks TNT Series. Wednesday night, tomorrow night, the High Side Hustle will be live from Action Track USA in Kutztown, Pennsylvania. USAC East Coast Wingless 360 Sprint Cars and 600 Micro Sprints on the bill for that one. Join Bert Wojcik and hopefully Adam Rubright for a pretty neat little pre-race show we'll be doing down there from the racetrack. Also, coming up on Thursday, the doubleheader with the Ezra IndyCar Series and the Indy Pro 2000 Officials. They head to the Red Bull Ring over in Austria. Friday night, Linda's Speedway Live will be back on the air this week after a great doubleheader weekend of racing action with the Richie Hartman promotion shows. The regular divisions come back to Linda's for the next week or so. Then coming up on Sunday night, it is the High Slide Cup Series. But with that, we're going to wrap up our coverage here of the Carolina Simworks TNT PM-18 All Oval Series for everybody here at the National Racing Network. My name is Chris Graham. It's been a pleasure to have you with us here this evening. We will talk to you soon. Have a great night, everybody.